to our Shelby Bicycle Museum. Good, all right, here we go. Shelby was just a country crossroads in 1890 with a flour mill and a foundry, both necessary concerns for a village of just 2,000 people. There weren't but 2 men in the whole town who could give $2,000 apiece, so goes the story. But give they did enough money to bring America's first seamless tube company to Shelby. Bicycle companies, eager to be close to the source of steel, moved to Shelby. Men with newfound wealth began to invest in other inventions like electric light bulbs, automobiles, and tractors. Factories became incubators for more innovation. Shelby O, as it was called, became a name known from New York to California and beyond. Shelby's story is one of ingenuity and perseverance through epidemics, wars, and depressions. It's a wonderful story that begs to be told. So many businesses that were started in Shelby. Many thanks to Shelby Bicycle collector Stan Kane. He's on vacation this week. His family planned a vacation, so he doesn't argue when that happens, so he's gone. Shelby Police Chief Lance Combs, who envisioned the Bicycle Museum to be open 24/7. And Seltzer's descendant, Joe Seltzer's descendant, Scott Mooring, is the one who brought the history I collected to life. So he did all the graphic design through his building. He lives in Michigan, and so it was a lot of long distance trying to get everything together, but he's fantastic. He's worked for Lane Bryant and some other really high profile companies and doing graphic design for them. So we're really lucky to have him working with us. We also have a score of volunteers who helped in the construction of the museum. Could our volunteers kind of raise your hands, our member volunteers? We have some here tonight. Nick wave. Who else do we have? Sue Mess is in the back. Jeff is back there too. So we have a wonderful core group. They're also going to be working on Saturday. And then we also have some other members here, Kathy Dodge and Cindy Jones are members also. We actually have more than 30 members in our Shelby Cycle Historical Society. We've only been around for about 6 years. So every year we grow as more people come in during bicycle days and they get interested in our bicycle history. These members are everywhere from Shelby to California, with Wisconsin, Texas, and Colorado in between. So it really is a national organization that we have now. I would like to introduce someone who probably doesn't need an introduction in Shelby, and that is our former mayor and county commissioner, and now State Representative Marilyn John. She's honoring us with a commendation tonight.
Thank you. It's great to be here. When I became mayor in 2010, this was an empty lot. And there was a factory down the way that was coming down, and we were trying to determine where to put a firehouse and a new police station. And there was a consensus in town that we wanted it to be centrally located. We wanted it to stay in the downtown, which presented a problem. There was a flood zone, and how do we work around that? And so to see all of everything that has happened in this 8 acres here is really amazing, and to see how you're honoring what was here so long ago, but what has become such an important part of our history is really amazing. And to kick it all off at the beginning of Bicycle Days, I can't think of a better time. So from the state of Ohio, I have a commendation for you that just celebrates your hard work and everybody else's hard work. So thank you to all of you who are on the committee or in the society, and all the work that you are doing to keep our history alive. And I know you do a ton of work to keep our history alive. So thank you for everything that you are doing, but from the state of Ohio, and Speaker Cup and myself, congratulations.
We also have two Richland County commissioners here tonight, Tony Mears and Daryl Banks. Mr. Mears will also. What did I do? Oh my gosh.
We're close, but we're not there.
Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Then I put Mr. Mears will present a proclamation from the County Commission. Thank you.
Oh, you know, the clap is just me. Well, I do have a proclamation from myself and on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, myself, Tony Vero, and Daryl Banks. And the proclamation summarizes really the history that I was looking at on the walls here. And I think it's fascinating that you, I always have to put the microphone, that you have something like this and all the effort that goes into it, but it starts with a vision and a dream. And I really applaud you and all the people that put this together, because it's so important, as Representative John indicated, to preserve your heritage, because I spent a lot of time in Shelby. My wife taught here for 20-odd years. So when your wife's a teacher in the community, you spend a lot of time here as well. And I always have a soft spot for this community and its growth and its history and its heritage. But the bicycle industry is part of your identity. And it's just amazing how you made this vision something that you can share with everybody so easily. And I think it's laid out so well, and it's so high tech. You have QR codes on the wall, so you can scan that and find more information, which is absolutely fascinating. But I didn't know that much about it myself until you sent me the link, and I looked at that, and I didn't realize what a big part the industry played in the spirit of St. Louis, and Lindbergh crossing the Atlantic would not have been possible had it not been for the work that's done in Shelby. I really would like to see a Donald Duck bike in person. I thought that's very cool. But you have a picture of Shirley Temple on a Shelby bike, so it's an industry that really permeated through so many years. And what I also thought was very interesting, my background's in private industry, and what was fascinating to me, most fascinating to me, is the fact that during the worst of times, the Great Depression, you hired and expanded and hired more people. So Shelby really was a resilient community in the worst of times. This exhibit says a lot about the spirit of the people in the community and a lot about the industry and how business friendly it's been. So I applaud you and the work that you've all done in putting this together. It's a great thing that you can share with everybody. So on behalf again of the Board of Commissioners, here's a proclamation for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Let's see, we also that's my dad, okay? There you go. He's allowed. Mayor Shag and the city council members were unable to be here tonight, but Sergeant Nolan, right?
Yeah.
I want to call him Officer Nolan because I watched that TV show on Sunday night that has Officer Nolan, who I absolutely adore. So. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Good afternoon. I don't know much about the bicycle-based history or Shelby City history. I'm new to the community. I've been here employed since 2018. I bought a home here in 2019. But I have learned it's a pretty tight-knit community, and I do can see the appreciation in what you're doing here with bicycle-based history. So, again, she said Mayor Shag did have this proclamation, so I will read it, if that's all right. Whereas the city of Shelby has a rich history in bicycle production, which prospered because of the vision and perseverance of various entrepreneurs. And whereas in 1925, the Shelby Cycle Company began assembling quality bicycles, which would eventually be recognized across the nation. And whereas the Shelby Cycle Company employed hundreds of individuals, which took exceptional pride in producing more than 200 bicycles And whereas the very site on which the Shelby Justice Center is located was the parcel of ground which was home to the Shelby Cycle Company factory. And whereas it seems right and proper that the Shelby Justice Center should be home to the newly established Shelby Bicycle Museum. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Stephen Shagg, Mayor of the City of Shelby, Ohio, do hereby recognize the outstanding contribution to set the Shelby Cycle Company made in the lives of the Shelby community and beyond. Be it further resolved that on behalf of the citizens of Shelby, Ohio, I may join many others in congratulating and thanking Mrs. Christina Drain and her team who worked so diligently to preserve this most valuable piece of Shelby history through the establishment of the Shelby Bicycle Museum. In witness whereof, I have hereunto to set my hand and have caused the seal of the City of Shelby to be affixed on this 7th day of July in the year of our Lord, 2022. Thank you.
So I have some special guests here tonight too. Tim and Debbie Newmeyer are here with the original Shelby Whippet that was ridden coast to coast by Charles Whippet Wagner in 1927. It's the bike in the mural. That bike really put Shelby and the cycle company on the map. Tim and Debbie have been collectors for many, many years, and they lovingly restore many Shelby classics, and you can see how well that's wonderfully restored. So thank you for coming tonight. I'm sure if you have any questions, they'd be happy to answer them. I'd also like to recognize Marilyn's husband, Kevin John, who works at ArcelorMittal and has been instrumental in getting me access to the records. COVID cut our time short. We just started doing the research about 2019, 2020, so we're going to be working on some grants and try to digitize more of the information in the Tubi in the future. I have 2 books right now. One won't fit in a display case, but the other one is a book on the bottom shelf that shows every single expense that the Tubi had when they rebuilt after the fire in 1908. Was the fire, I think? 1909. Down to the number of screws and nails and everything is in that book. So we're very lucky to have that on display tonight. The other book is too big to put in there, but we're going to get it digitized, and it includes the first billets, the first tubing that was bought by the Shelby Cycle Manufacturing, Shelby Cycle Frame Builders, which has one of the banners back there talks about that history. That was a forerunner of the Shelby Cycle Company. So 1922 is when they bought their first tubing to create some of the bikes. So I remember one bicycle talk early on when someone in the audience asked what happened to the cycle company building. My research at the time consisted of scanning microfilm page by page in the basement of the library. I simply hadn't gotten to the 1960s yet. Dad was in the audience and I asked if he knew what happened to the building. Of course he did. The I-beams that hold up our house to support the kitchen and living room and the wooden trusses in the barn were salvage that came from the factory. So I was surrounded by Shelby Cycle history and didn't even know it when I was growing up. It's really a different type of museum. Because the building is used on a daily basis with the court and the fire department, the police department, we weren't able to have bicycle displays like a typical museum would have. We do plan to have some more bikes hanging over the windows. And as was pointed out, each of our exhibits has a QR code that you can use with your cell phone. And it takes you to our website, shelbycyclehistory.org. and where you'll find more information on each one of the murals there. We do have one mural that is still missing, and that's our timeline. It's supposed to go on this wall over here. It's a 22-foot piece, and we are having a few issues trying to actually get it to print out so that we can put it on the wall. But as soon as Stan Kane gets back from vacation, he'll be working on it again, and hopefully we'll have it up in the next week or two. So explore, bring back your family and friends. There's really so much history on these murals that every time you come, you're going to notice something that you didn't see before. So I really thank you for coming tonight. If you come on Saturday, we're having an open house on Saturday, and I pretty much can guarantee you that you will see a Shelby duck bike. Stan Kane has several. I think some of the other collectors. Do you have one, Jeff?
I do not.
Oh, he doesn't have a duck bike yet, but he has some other really great bikes that he's bringing too. So we'll have a lot of bikes here. We're hoping to get the Shelby tractor here, which was also made between this building and the carton service. We'll have a wagon that Joe Seltzer had when it was Seltzer and Sons, the early 1900s, and we do believe that Charles Follis, the first professional black football player, probably worked on the wagon, if not drove the team of horses. We're not quite sure. But anyway, there's a good history there. So I thank you again for coming out and take your time and look. We have some free refreshments here too. So thank you, and thank you all for the proclamation and commendations. So thank you.